Hi, it's Janet here from Green Urban Living. Now, have you been put off by getting into vegetable gardening because of the cost of all the raised planters that you need and the organic compost and all those sort of things? Well, today I'd like to show you a way that you can create a beautiful, no-dig, fertile garden using all the ingredients that you can find around your home and around your neighbourhood without having to fork out trillions of dollars for all those fancy raised organic compost and potting mix and all those sort of things. Basically, all you need is something to form an edge. So that can be anything like bricks, river stones, old blocks of firewood, even phone books stacked up, old cracked plates put into an edge along their edge, or even something like this. This is some real estate signs that have been cut into strips with some wood to support them, and what that does is it creates a lovely firm edge so that I can build up my veggie garden. Now, the great thing about these no-dig or sandwich gardens, as I call them, is that you are putting all the soil and creating it yourself. So it's great for an urban area because you don't know the history of your soil. It could have a past history of horticulture, so it could actually be contaminated. So because you're building it up yourself, you know exactly what your soil is and where it's come from. And the other great thing about this sort of gardening is you can actually even garden on concrete, like here. Obviously it's better if you can put it onto a grass area, but if you don't have that space, you can even put it on a patio. If you're doing it on a patio, remember to add some worms into the compost material just to get everything sort of mixing and getting going. So if you're putting it on a lawn, don't worry about spraying it with herbicide or anything. The first thing you need to do is layer it really thickly with some newspaper. So start collecting your old newspapers. And it's best to use newsprint like this, not your glossy women's weekly magazines and all those sort of things, because they have more toxic sort of ink that they use for the printing process. And the secret to this is don't do it on a windy day, or else you'll go insane very quickly. It'll be blowing all over the show. Now the idea is to lay it quite thickly, so at least 8 pages thick, and make sure that it's all overlapping so that you can't see any grass or dirt underneath it. If it is a windy day, what I have done in the past is pre-soak the newspaper in a bucket of water, or fill up the wheelbarrow with water so that when you're putting it on, it's not blowing everywhere. So as you see, I'm just sort of folding out the sections, putting them down and making sure that they all overlap. And what this does is it basically creates a natural weed mat. So it'll kill all the grass underneath, and in about 3 months, all the fibres of the paper have knitted together and they create a really strong weed mat. But after a while it rots down and the earthworms and all the natural organisms in the soil can get up into the compost material. So I've got a lovely thick mat of newspaper. Next thing is give it a bit of a sprinkle with a hose. And then the process now is to start layering it with nitrogen-rich material and carbon-rich material. And you layer it in sort of 10 centimetre layers up to the height that you want it. So you can go right up to here if you wish, or keep it down to about 20 centimetres. And the secret is to start fossicking away, squirreling away all your ingredients so that you've got them all here, and that means that you can bang in them and make your vegetable garden really, really quickly. Get your friends around and you could do several of these in 10 minutes time. So with nitrogen material, they are things that are green. So things like your lawnmower clippings, hedge clippings, seaweed, comfrey leaves, all the weeds that you pull out of your garden. So to start with, I've got some good old lawnmower clippings here that have been sitting in this wheelbarrow for a couple of weeks, so they've actually rotted down, but you can use them fresh. And what I do is I just sprinkle them over the new garden bed, so they're about 10 centimetres or so thick. So that's my nitrogen layer. And now I want to put a carbon layer. So these are your brown things. So things like untreated sawdust, old leaves are good, hay, pea hay or straw. Don't use normal hay because it has a lot of seeds in it. So here we are, I've got some old leaves. So autumn's obviously a great time to start collecting these. Approach your local school or kindy because they always need their leaves raked and picked up and removed. I'm just sprinkling those over it, making a nice thin layer. And again, after each layer, give it a quick sprinkle with a hose. Another nitrogen-rich compost layer is seaweed. So after you've had a good storm, go down to your local beach with a couple of big sacks and pick up all the seaweed. And that makes a really great nitrogen layer. Again, sprinkle it with a hose. I don't bother rinsing the seaweed either, so just put it straight on there. Another carbon layer which is really good is pea straw. So we get a lot of this around here because lots of peas are grown in this area. It's great for the garden. As it rocks down, it replaces the carbon into the soil, and it makes a really good mulch too. Again, give it a quick sprinkle. Now, believe it or not, this is sheepdag wool. So if you know somebody that's got a lifestyle block or a couple of sheep, approach them and see if they want someone to take the old sheepdags off their hands. So this is a nitrogen layer, and it's great because it's got all that big fat dags and sheep poo in it. So again, lay that thinly over the soil, wet it down again. So that's another nitrogen layer. Here's some untreated sawdust. So this is a carbon layer, the brown layer. And the other thing that's really important to add is some animal manure. So go to your local farm, pony club, and collect some animal manure. If you can't get that, you could use sheep pellets, they're just as good. So sprinkle those over, and that really gets sort of things cooking, and it heats it all up and gets the composting going. Get another sprinkle. And I've got some more leaves in here. So as you see, there's no hard and fast rules, it's just making lots of gentle layers. Another nitrogen material you can use is used coffee grounds. So I collect these from my local cafe, and this is a bit of a trick because even though they're brown, they're green. So this is a nitrogen layer. Coffee grounds are really high in nitrogen. And I might end with another layer of the pea straw. That goes on there. And then basically once you've got to the height that you want your garden, you can either be lazy and let it sit here for about 3 months, and in that time all the organisms and worms will mix it all together and create beautiful fertile compost for you to grow your veggies in. Or if you're a little bit impatient like most of us, what you can do is cover it with some compost or potting mix to about sort of 10 centimetres. And if you're Scottish like me, what you can do is grab a little bit of potting mix and make little mounds of the potting mix. Sort of dot that around where you want to grow your veggies, just like a good handful or so. And then you can plant your veggies just into these little pockets, and away you go. And then the surrounding material will rot down and feed all that beautiful nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and all the other goodies into your veggies. So as your veggies are growing, you can sprinkle more lawn clippings around here, more pea hay, weeds, anything like that. And there you have it. You've just made a veggie garden, a no-dig veggie garden, very fertile, with just stuff that you found around your home. How good is that? No cost involved, but beautiful veggies to grow.